Welcome everyone to this 55th day of 21-day programs for this year. My name is Tracy. Thrilled to be here with all of you this evening. It's a great honor and it's a great privilege. And tonight we are going to be looking into the nature of our center heart, which is the quality of fearlessness. So I live in South Florida, and I would like to also invite anybody who's new after the program today. You are welcome to mention in the chat that you would like to meet one-on-one with an experienced practitioner of the Sahaja Yoga meditation. And we have recordings that you can revisit that are all online on the YouTube channel. We had a program on Tuesday, which was on realized souls that were great artists and musicians and in many different walks of life. We also have a program coming up on this Sunday, and I'm sorry, I can't recall what the topic of the program will be, but I will mention at the end of the session. So tonight we're going to have a foot soak, and we have artists that are going to perform wonderful pieces related to the center heart, music that will help to open our heart and help us to feel the sense of security, the sense of joy, and the sense of fearlessness within our heart. So why don't we get started? We can introduce our other musicians and presenters this evening. We'd love to welcome both of you. Abhishek Purnakar, please introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Abhishek.
Good evening. My name is Advaith.
We both are from Tampa, Florida, and we have this passion towards music And our journey in Sahaja Yoga has really helped us to really pursue this passion in a more enlightened form. And today we are here to bring this music and actually poetry that is actually more relevant to today's theme. And this poetry has been composed by beautiful uh, realized souls. These realized souls are, their greatness is immeasurable, and the beauty of their dedication and the strength in their connection can be really be understood in the way they have really expressed their connection with the divine power. And that is what we are going to really bring forth towards you. Advait is he has just finished his high school, right? And he'll be going into the university soon. But his passion for percussion is beautiful, and as we understand the role of music, we can understand that it helps us reach the absolute very, very quickly. And the role of rhythm and the melody and the integration of the both of these together helps us get to this state in a very spontaneous manner. So without further ado, I would hand the stage back to Auntie Tracy. Thank you for inviting us here, and it is our great pleasure to be here. And this was very spontaneous indeed, that we were able to come here, and we'll be offering these two songs towards the end of the program. Thank you.
Thank you both. We are looking forward to listening to the music that you're going to share with us. Before that, we'll have the foot soak now. Hope everybody has their foot soak bucket ready. After the foot soak, we will hear a talk of Shri Mataji's that has to do with seeking the absolute. Then we will be treated to a wonderful music performance and meditation. And afterwards, we'll have opportunity to share some personal experiences that we have had relevant to the topic tonight on becoming fearless. So let's begin. Perhaps you have an ice pack if you'd like. It was quite warm here today in Southern Florida. I actually put ice cubes in my foot soak because the water here is really not all that cold. But we get to determine over time what the temperature of the water is going to best suit our own physical, mental, emotional, and subtle system. So we'll begin with bringing both of our hands in front of our sacrum bone. Let's close our eyes and take a deep breath. Let's feel the breath in our center heart, the focus of our attention tonight. And as we have learned, let's now raise our mother energy and tie this energy up above the top of our head. Second time, we can tie the knot twice. And the third time, and final time, we'll tie the energy with our attention and the nature of our spirit above the top of our head 3 times. Let's put ourselves in the protection of the vibrations. We go over from the left side to the right 7 times. And if this is new to anybody, then we'll have an opportunity to explain it and demonstrate it later towards the end of the program. So let's give a vibration now to vibrate the foot soak water. And we can offer the mantra that we have learned. And in the past, we learned the mantra to Shri Ganesha. The mantra for the principle of the water is Shri Samudra Devata. So let's offer that mantra together. If you don't know it, please just listen, follow along. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Samudra Devata Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Let's put both feet in the water. And today we're focusing on the center heart, the heart chakra. We have the left heart and the right heart and the center heart. And these energy centers are so instrumental in helping us to develop confidence in ourself, a sense of sureness in ourself, a sense of fearlessness. And these qualities grow strong and blossom within us in the state of meditation. So let's bring our right hand onto our center heart. The principle of center heart is the mother of the universe, the one who is fiercely protective of her children. And in Sanskrit, the ancient primordial language, she is referred to as Shri Jagadamba, Shri being revered or holy, and Jagadamba, the mother of the universe. And she's called by many different names in different cultures. Another one that is part of the mantra that we will learn in a few minutes is Shri Durga Mata. So we will learn more about these aspects of the divine, this mother aspect of the divine, as the programs continue through the year. Today it's just an introduction. We can feel secure that our connection with the divine is always looking after us. And just like our own mother, the Divine Mother is fiercely protective of her children. So let's ask our Mother Kundalini to please come into our heart. Mother, please come into my heart and awaken the confidence, the awareness that I'm always being looked after and protected by the divine. We can give the center heart a bandhan. We move the energy. The chakra is made of energy, and we're moving the chakra with the vibrations clockwise. And we can clear any impurities or blockages and offer it into the foot soaking water. So let's do that a few times. If ever we feel anxious, insecure, worried, or afraid, we can give a bandhan to this chakra to help open it and relax it. So we use the vibrations to clear and nourish the center heart. Now let's put our hand on our heart. We can also use affirmations. The affirmation here is, I am secure in my spirit. So let's say that to ourselves 3 times silently, speaking to our Mother Kundalini. Mother, I am secure in my spirit. If we have doubt or confusion, insecurity or fear, we bring our hand to our center heart and affirm, I am secure in my spirit. Gradually, this affirmation will become part and parcel of our being, and that security, that sense of security will grow. We become more closely identified, aware of, connected to our spirit. And that connection makes us confident in ourselves. We're going to learn now the mantra for the center heart. So we'll see the mantra come on the screen now, and we can say it together. I'll say it first, and then we'll say it together. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Jagadamba Durga Mata Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. The translation is, salutations to the one who in reality is the mother of the universe, who is the primordial power, the divine mother, the pure goddess. Salutations to you again and again. So let's try it together now. And if it seems a little foreign, just listen along. We'll get the hang of it. Offering the Sanskrit mantra creates a vibrational quality that nourishes the chakra, that cleanses it and fortifies it. It gives us strength. So here we go. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Jagadamba Durga Mata Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. We can bring both hands together in front of our heart and bow our heads in salutations to the Mother of the universe, whose principle, whose qualities reside within our center heart. Let's bring both of our hands back on our lap now. We are going to offer one more technique that we can use when we feel insecure, when we're faced with perhaps a daunting obstacle we're not quite sure how to navigate. And we can seek the help, the guidance, the support, the strength of this mother principle in our center heart. We can take our fist and gently pound on the center heart. Let's close our eyes and lightly but firmly tap on our center heart. Sometimes this helps to dislodge those feelings of fear or insecurity. And let's now just place our hand there. We can use the name Jagadamba in a rhythmic way to also open our heart, to feel confident and sure and secure in ourselves. And we repeat the name of Shri Jagadamba in our heart once for each of the petals, each of the 12 petals of our heart center. And it goes like this. Jai Jagadamba, Jagadamba, Jagadamba. And again. Jai Jagadamba, Jagadamba, Jagadamba. So we'll do 4 sets of 3 for a total of 12. And we can lightly tap on our heart as we say this. Jai Jagadamba, Jagadamba, Jagadamba. Jai Jagadamba, Jagadamba, Jagadamba. Jai Jagadamba, Jagadamba, Jagadamba. Jai Jagadamba, Jagadamba, Jagadamba. Let's bring our hand back on our lap and close our eyes. Bring our attention to the top of our head. Take a deep breath. See if we feel the relaxation in our heart. Perhaps we feel a little stronger in ourself, or even a coolness flowing through us, or on our hands, or in our heart. Let's take another slow, deep breath. We've learned the breathing technique that also helps open center heart. That is to inhale, hold the breath in, exhale, and hold it out. Let's do that again. Keeping the attention above the top of our head. When we slow down our breathing, we come into balance, and it neutralizes the pressure or the action of our emotions that sometimes take us out of balance. Slow breath in, hold it in. Exhale and hold it out. We can watch ourselves come into balance as the speed of our breathing becomes slower. We may also feel strands of our mother energy rising. Everything becomes quiet. Mother Kundalini rises. Connects us. We feel more confident in ourselves, more secure in our spirit. The fearlessness grows stronger within us in meditation. So very good. That's time now to rinse our feet and dry them off. We'll put our foot soaking buckets aside, and then we're going to empty it later. We're going to listen to a talk now where Shri Mataji explains the seeking within human beings of the absolute, of the divine.
Now let us see how we are created from amoeba to this stage. We have become human beings without understanding anything about it. And are we to evolve more, to achieve something higher, to get out of this confusion? Or are we to be dissolved with this confusion in our mind? This confusion is important in a way. If there is no confusion, we are not going to seek any solution out of it. And that is why people feel that some solution has to come up. We are confused because we have no absolute values. We have not felt the absolute values. Somebody says to be honest is a very good idea. But we find that no, if we are very honest, it doesn't pay. Some say to be devoted and dedicated and loyal is the best policy. But no, it does not work out that way. But there must be something that decides whether we are right or wrong. That's what we think. It has to be like that. After all, this whole creation was created with such love and care, with such delicacy. If you are a doctor, you will see how beautifully you are created inside. Every nerve, how beautifully it grew into a sensitive cell. How the whole body was created. How these eyes were created with such accuracy. We see cameras and cameras in this world created by us. No camera can be compared with our eyes. Such a tremendous machinery has been created within us with such care. Discarding many others, many have gone out of the circulation of evolution. And then this man, the great personality of a human being, came out of it. For what? To be confused, to be upset, to be insecure. How can that be? It's not true. It cannot be. After all, why are we human beings? God has made us with a purpose, no doubt. There is a purpose in giving us this kind of a body, this irregular body. There is a purpose in everything that we have today as human beings. Even the confusion, as I said. Today is the day for people to seek. Thousands of people are seeking. They are fed up with whatever they have been doing. They are fed up with it. They are not seeking out of fashion. Many people think that it's a fashion, they are a lost race and they are this and they are that. It's not true. There were never so many seekers as there are today, and they are seeking. Maybe they do not know what they are seeking, but they are not satisfied with their state of affairs, and they are seeking something higher. And that higher is the Absolute. Is the Absolute. Now, this higher, if it is the Absolute, everything must relate to it. Absolute point means everything is related. For example, if you have 1 meter here, if you say it is 5 meters, that means this is 5 times than the gold rod you have got in Paris, which is called as 1 meter. Everything has to be related to that Absolute. And that relationship then establish the relationship with each other. For example, on the religious side, if you see, there have been so many religions, one after another. We had Judaism, Christianity, Hinduism, Sikhism, Buddhism, Jainism, Islam, so many religions. They all must relate to Absolute. We must find out how many meters each one of them are. Where do they stand in relation to this Absolute? Has to be. It cannot be just something like people said, oh, we've got the Absolute Mother, we are realized souls, we are twice born. Then how do you say? Because I see a light in my head. What does that mean? It is not absolute. Well, you can see the light as it is there. If you faint also, you might see a little light short-circuiting there. There could be some others who say, yes, I've got the knowledge. How? What is it? Because, Mother, I don't think anymore. I said, you must be drunk. Everything that we seek has to be related to everything else. Otherwise, solution won't be there. To find the absolute value of anything, we must Know that there's nothing else but that. That's the only thing. That's one. That's a unity. It cannot have a parallel. Some people jump in the street and say that we found the last. Then why are we jumping? Now that absolute thing has to be something that should come in your awareness if it is a evolutionary process. In our evolution, whatever we have achieved has come in our awareness. That means it should become a part and parcel of our awareness. Part and parcel of our awareness. Like as I can see you, I can feel you in the same way you should be able to see. And through that light, we should be able to explain each and everything.
Let us all together invoke this pure desire within each and every one of us. Then let us be integrated with this absolute. Let this pure desire be expressed with utmost sincerity. as our realization is our means to be one with the Absolute. Let us rely on it. Let us rely on this connection of ours that enables our awareness to literally jump from a state of turmoil, agitation, and disturbance into a deeper state of silence, where none of the variables that were before meaningful hold any value anymore. Into that comfortable state, a state of peace, into that state of comfort of our spirit. And to reinforce the state of ease and freedom from the insecurities that pop up in our attention, let us put both our hands in the middle of our heart. And here we will say a very simple affirmation as we take a deep breath. Mother is with me. And we pause our breath, saying, Mother is helping me. And as we relieve our breath, we say, I am with Mother. We can do this a few times to feel the comfort and the protection. Mother is with me. Mother is helping me. And I am with Mother. Mother is with me. Mother is helping me. And I am with Mother. We can relax our hands down in our lap. And as we move further in our journey, we explore the beautiful poetry that resonate this unique, blissful state of integration with the divine power. As we listen to these lines, let us maintain this peace and this oneness. And let the state of mind be absolutely relaxed, one with the divine power. This song that we are going to offer next is in the Marathi language, and it is very unique because it is very dear to Shri Mataji. And not only because it is dear, it literally invokes this beautiful dependence on this divine power. That when you are integrated with this power that is most powerful, that presides over everything, that has created us, that has created everything that is living. When you are one with such power, where is the room for fear? So it says, Bhayakayata Prabhu Jatsare. Where is my fear when I am one with this power? In this beautiful state of oneness, I forget everything that is bothering my mind, my attention. It becomes as if my attention is dissolved with the love and the waves of the divine completely being dissolved into it, into the joy. And then it resonates the glory of that greatness. So there is no room for fear. Therefore, whoever is connected in this beautiful state, where is the fear? This power is the one that is pervading through the whole universe. The whole of this creation is dependent and is being sustained by this divine power. But yet, this divine is absolutely hidden, mysterious, and away from it. With this unique connection, we are one with it. So where is the fear? When you own, when you're part and parcel of this divine power. No matter if you don't have the worldly riches, if you are impoverished by health or by body, by money, by circumstances, no matter your state, you can come into this temple within and be one with this power and be completely blessed with the fortune of the peace, of the security and oneness. You are the most richest person, spiritually enriched and nourished when you are in this state. And the poet goes on as saying, now when I am so rich with this richness, where is the fear? A person who has been blessed with this state has his foot over all forms of troubles, sicknesses, mental worries, and even death. And all of these disappear when a person touched by this divine power and one with this divine power has his or her attention on that problem. In other words, the person becomes dynamic instrument of the divine, which is only the instrument for the benevolence of others. So where is the fear when we are one with the divine? Let us be in this meditative, silent state of joy as we listen to this song. भयकायतया प्रभु ज्याचा रे भयकायतया प्रभु ज्याचा रे. भयकायतया प्रभु ज्याचा रे भयकायतया प्रभु ज्याचा रे भयकायतया प्रभु ज्याचा रे भयकायतया प्रभु ज्याचा रे. सर्व विसरली प्रभुमय झाली सर्व विसरली प्रभुमय झाली पूर्ण भयाची वाचा रे पूर्ण जयाची वाचा रे भयकायतया प्रभु जाता रे भयकायतया प्रभु जाचा रे भयकायतया प्रभु जाचा रे भयकायतया प्रभु जाचा रे. जगत विचरे उपकारा स्तव जगत विचरे उपकारा स्तव परिणततो जगताचा रे परिणततो जगताचा रे भयकायतया प्रभु जाचा रे भयकायतया प्रभु जाचा रे भयकायतया प्रभु जाचा रे भयकायतया प्रभु जाचा रे. इति निर्धन परत्र जाचा इति निर्धन परत्र जाचा सर्वधनाचा साचा रे सर्वधनाचा साचा रे भयकायतया प्रभु जाचा रे भयकायतया प्रभु जाचा रे भयकायतया प्रभु जाचा रे भयकायतया प्रभु जाचा रे. आदि व्याधि मरणावरति आदि व्याधि मरणावरति पायाशा पुरुषाचा रे पायाशा पुरुषाचा रे भयकायतया प्रभु जाचा रे भयकायतया प्रभु जाचा रे भयकायतया प्रभु जाचा रे भयकायतया भयकायतया प्रभुजात्सारे भयकायतया प्रभुजात्सारे. Let us feel the love of our divine power. That it is so eager to give us this joy. And that it has absorbed us all as the cells of a collective being. And it is the utmost priority for this divine power to protect us, to nourish us. As we continue our journey, we would like to offer another song by the greatest realized soul called Shri Kabir. And he has written very beautiful couplets regarding the expression of this joy, the expression of the state of oneness with this power. And that how this connection has made us absolutely fearless. And the next song is therefore called Nirbhay Nirguna. That in this state of oneness, I am absolutely fearless. And that I can transcend the draws on my attention that comes from the three gunas, which can be loosely classified as the left, which is the emotional states, the right, which is the state of anger, and also the state of rigor and discipline. And beyond these three states, the gunas, the qualities, I rise higher with the power of this Kundalini within me. And I sing this song free of fear. In this state, I establish a beautiful lotus at the base, which represents the innocence within me. And with that innocence, I invoke this divine cool breeze to rise higher and ascend my attention higher. Ulati pavana chadhaunga. With this state, I steady my emotions and the draws of the pulls on my emotions and bring it to the balance. And with that balance, I then spread this fearlessly to the whole world. When this happens, when this state, when this union, this yoga takes place, the three channels, the three nadis within me, the Ida, Pingala, and the Sushamna, the left, right, and the central channels, as if flowing like a river, 3 rivers culminating at one point. I take the auspicious dip into this beautiful, nourishing water of the spiritual power within me. Being completely filled and drenched with the cup of nectar, I then catch hold of 525, 5 and I then distill their differences, remove and look forward, look past their differences, and integrate them with this unity, this thing, this thread that is uniting each and every one of us. That irrespective of our differences, it is this string of the Kundalini that binds us together. Ek hi dor lagaunga. With this culminating summit of my attention, when it reaches to the Sahasrara, Shunya Shikhar, where there is everything that is silent, just like the peak of the highest mountain, resonates the rhythm of my heart, the Anahata. And it allows me to open my attention to the beautiful dimensions of the divine power. Raga Chatti sa sunaunga. And I sing and I express this beautiful music in that oneness with this divine power. Kahat Kabir, says Kabira, O seeker, when you reach this state is when you are victorious over all your 6 enemies within you. And this is the song. Let us enjoy this in absolute joy and surrender to this power within us. Nirabhay, nirguna, guna de gaunga, gaunga. Nirbhay, nirguna, nirbhay, nirguna, guna re gaunga, gaunga. Nirbhay, nirguna, nirbhay, nirguna, guna re gaunga, gaunga. कमल दृढ़ आसन बांधू जी मूल कमल दृढ़ मूल कमल दृढ़ आसन बांधू जी उलटी पवन चढ़ाऊंगा चढ़ाऊंगा उलटी पवन चढ़ाऊंगा चढ़ाऊंगा निर्भय निर्गुण निर्भय निर्गुण गुण रे गाऊंगा गाऊंगा मन ममता को मन ममता को मन ममता को थिर कर लाऊं जी मन ममता को पर लाऊं जी, पांच तत्व लगाऊंगा मिलाऊंगा, पांच तत्व मिलाऊंगा मिलाऊंगा, निर्भय निर्गुण निर्भय निर्गुण गुण रे गाऊंगा गाऊंगा। इंगला पिंगला इंगला पिंगला इंगला पिंगला, सुख मन नाड़ी जी, इंगला पिंगला इंगला पिंगला, सुख मन नाड़ी जी, तेरे वेणी पे होने हाऊंगा नहाऊंगा, तेरे वेणी पे होना हाऊंगा नहाऊंगा, निर्भय निर्गुण निर्भय निर्गुण गुण रे गाऊंगा गाऊंगा। पाँच पचीसो पाँच पचीसो, पकड़ बंधाऊं जी, पाँच पचीसो, पकड़ मंगाऊं जी, एक ही डोर लगाऊंगा लगाऊंगा, एक ही डोर लगाऊंगा लगाऊंगा, निर्भय निर्गुण निर्भय निर्गुण गुण रे गाऊंगा गाऊंगा। शून्य शिखर पर शून्य शिखर पर शून्य शिखर पर, अनहत बाजे जी, शून्य शिखर पर अनहत बाजे जी, राग छत्तीस सुनाऊंगा सुनाऊंगा, राग छत्तीस सुनाऊंगा सुनाऊंगा, निर्भय निर्गुण निर्भय निर्गुण गुण रे गाऊंगा गाऊंगा। कहत कबीरा कहत कबीरा कहत कबीरा, सुनो भाई साधु जी, कहत कबीरा कहत कबीरा, सुनो भाई साधु जी, जीत निशान घुराऊंगा घुराऊंगा, जीत निशान घुराऊंगा घुराऊंगा, निर्भय निर्गुण निर्भय निर्गुण गुण रे गाऊंगा गाऊंगा। हाँ निर्भय Let us now, for a moment, just absorb the grace and the silence and the joy in this meditative silence for a few more minutes. We will now continue with the program.
Thank you, Abhishek and Advait, for such a beautiful, soothing, inspiring silence. It made us all go into silence. And we don't want to break that now. We have a few announcements. And as we come to the end of this part of the program, there's still another opportunity that we have. If you are new or have yet to request a mentor, there are many Sahaja Yoga instructors who are happy to help one another. Those of you who may wish to have a little more personal attention, and there will be a form that you can fill out in the chat. There's also a WhatsApp group community that offers daily inspiring messages and information about the programs. So please join the group. You'll find a wonderful support system in like-minded seekers of the absolute. And then finally, we have the sessions like tonight's are recorded, and the link is here on the screen. You can take a screenshot, or it will also be posted in the chat. You can copy it there, and you can go back and revisit any of the sessions that have taken place throughout the year. So here we go, Sunday, May 21st. Right. This is the day that we're going to have the opportunity to gain a deeper understanding of what this whole process of self-realization, the opening of the fontanelle bone that takes place through Sahaja Yoga, how it happens, and what we can enjoy as a result of this breakthrough. So please join on Sunday, and that will be at the same time as every session at 8:45. Tonight, if you would like, you can meet one-on-one or in small groups with a Sahaja Yoga teacher in a breakout room. So please type it in the chat to the breakout room help. You can do that if you have a question or want to meditate or have some experiences that you'd like to get a little more information about. So please put that in the Zoom chat. If you have a question that you want to ask here and now, you can also put that in the Zoom chat. If you'd like to stay just a little longer, we have an opportunity to chat with Abhishek and Advaith on the topic of tonight's program, which is becoming fearless. So we invite them back. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
So thank you so much for that beautiful musical program.
Thank
What a
you.
lovely concert.
Yeah.
And really, it was just so moving. Enjoyed it thoroughly. So let's begin. Advaith, how about that? Can we ask you a question to start?
Go ahead.
Great. So the first question is, how has Sahaja Yoga helped you in becoming more fearless?
So, I'd say the best way to explain is like through like the best example I could give is with I'd say like school, and a big fear is obviously like any exams that come up or deadlines, and those are like pretty much the biggest fears, I guess. So one way that I kind of help myself through Sahaja Yoga is that I like to just go sit down just for 5 minutes, kind of put your attention on top of your head, and it completely like the meditation kind of relaxes you, and it lets you detach from any fears that are in your mind, even though it is there. Is what I've noticed is after you meditate, when that fear is not really bothering you because you're detached from it, you can do better in studying or preparing for that or doing your assignment, whatever it is, rather than kind of having that fear linger in your head. It's like messing with your full focus that could go into the work. So I'd say like just taking a quick break to do a short meditation. It doesn't have to be something too long. Just just sit down, relax yourself, and then you can go back to it. But it completely detaches yourself from like the fear of like, oh, my deadline's coming up, or I have an exam tomorrow. And I feel like that's something I do that really helps me to become
Excellent.
fearless.
Thank you. Abhishek, I can't imagine that you've ever been fearful of anything.
That's not true.
Okay, good. Well, please share with us how Sahaja Yoga has helped you in overcoming or dealing with any fears that you've had.
So I would just put it in very simpler terms as to not to make an elaborate discussion on it. But what I realize that we all are aware of our strengths and our weaknesses, and we are always fearful of our weaknesses, right? More importantly, there are many such variables that are beyond our control, like which we cannot control. Yet we worry about them. Yet we fear the consequences of any of these things that can have on us. What Sahaja Yoga has really taught me is that the rules of the games and the rules of the engagement that we feel so connected to, or so attached to, don't matter after all when you are surrendering to a higher power. And ultimately it helps you watch and helps you see things fizzle out, see problems de-escalate, see situations become more favorable, or even if they are not favorable, um, it gives you the insight as to what is the true purpose or the true meaning behind. And therefore we start accepting things. And in my case, when we are really stuck onto an outcome, when we are really stuck onto an occurrence that needs to happen, that's when the most of our frustrations and most of our fears stem from. And I realized that by practicing Sahaja Yoga, I was able to be more surrendered and rely on this higher intelligence to work things out for you, and rely on the insights, sometimes inspirational problem solving, inspirations that would come to you, or even, for a matter of fact, help that would just come to you without you even knowing how that happened. And that's the miracle of Sahaja Yoga, that we as Sahajogi practitioners who are doing this, many of you can ask each and every one of them and they will have a story. So I would really invite each and everyone over here to start relying on this power, to start letting go of these fears, and just try it out. See how that works out in your own beautiful, adventure. I would just end here. But yes, it is my really an honest appeal to everyone that now that you have this power of integration with this divine power, start leaving things to it and see how things work out.
Very well said. Very beautifully said. Thank you, Abhishek. I wanted to add something that's slightly different to this conversation on being fearless. And as a child and a young adult, I grew up with a very debilitating condition called asthma. And we know that that is something that is really challenging and difficult to correct or cure. And I'd like to share with everybody that it's a really scary and somewhat terrifying condition when you can't breathe. So as a child or as a teenager, frequently visiting hospitals to emergency rooms and constantly in the care of doctors for medicine. And it was through the meditation and the state of meditation, using some of the things that we use today during the foot soak, that slowly and gradually, in the state of meditation, these kinds of imbalances have a way of normalizing. And so I can say today, and it didn't happen overnight, it took many years of working with the affirmations, and working with the mantra, and working with the vibrations, like Abhishek was saying, to learn to trust and rely on these vibrations to help us when we're in a bit of a jam and struggling. So if I had an episode when I had first started practicing with this asthmatic condition, then these breathing techniques and the mantras, they have a way of nurturing and nourishing and cleansing and clearing these imbalances that come. So, all right, next one, we'll go back. Abhishek, you ready for another question?
Sure.
All right. Okay. So how do you experience being confident or secure in your spirit, or we could say fearless, in your daily life?
The answer would be pretty simple, in a way that if I derive my competence from the inspiration of this power, I realize that so I'm just letting everybody know, I'm sorry, I'm from a healthcare background. I'm a physical therapist by profession, and we see a lot of challenging situations, and we do have to play somewhat central role in problem solving things for ourselves, for the patients, and also for the family members, and also the other staff members that are in part of the interdisciplinary team. And it so happens that, you know, when you are using just one linear method of analysis, sometimes it doesn't work. It has happened many a times where I would just shut those primitive methods of trying to solve the problems and just go into my inner self, even momentarily, to ask a solution for, or to, in that silence, just ask for it. And there will be some creative methods, some creative situations, or even assistance that would really guide, almost as if you are doing it, as if you came out with a plan, or you figured out something that really clicked for the patient or really worked, and they're grateful. But honestly, what has happened is that you have just tapped into this benevolence that is out there, that is, you become an instrument to that benevolence, and it just works through you. You become just an instrument, and therefore you don't associate that to yourself. And that really gives you a lot of faith, lot of confidence, that no matter the situation, you can always go back to this. And in very mysterious ways, as the scriptures say, things work out. And many a times, dealing with difficult situations like that, um, through different mediums, you may be presented with an answer, you may be presented with the help. And that has really helped me rely on this more, even if it is that I come from a very scientific clinical background. Knowing that this is very scientific, this is very evolved method of coming to solution, because we are no longer in the problem, no longer involved in the problem, and we are able to separate ourselves, and we are shown the solutions. So if that answers the question, Auntie.
Beautifully.
Okay.
Yep. Advait, perhaps you could share a few additional techniques aside from what you mentioned at the beginning, which you said you relied on taking a moment to take a break and get into that state of meditation. But are there times where you find that perhaps there are other additional strategies or techniques that you can use to help deal with anything that's causing you to feel anxious or insecure?
Yeah, so that was like a very, I guess, like specific example to like when you're by yourself. But I'd say, like, if I kind of go off of what Uncle was saying before, which was like um in like every, whether you're an adult or a teenager, like there are certain moments which require you to like make decisions at the moment. And there's not always like one direct answer or like solution. And sometimes you have to think in like kind of outside the box. And some people just say, you just have to like just go with the flow. But that's essentially what's happening, is that you don't, when you say to surrender to that power, um you're not waiting for anything, because that power is inside you. So instead of like overthinking the situation, when you just kind of leave it to that power, it just naturally kind of happens, as you meditate every day. um it's just something that kind of spontaneously happens, with which you leave it to that power, and you just kind of get the idea in the moment. It's not very like you have to like ask for it, but it just happens. And at the end, when you reflect back on it, you see how like it just kind of gives you like a very, very soothing thing of like, oh, it just happened. Like, you just realize that everything's done, it happened very successfully, and you didn't really think about it, or you didn't have to like put your mind into it or any effort. And that's kind of the beauty of that power. It just kicks in and helps you right when you need it, and you don't really have to ask for it. But the only thing you do is meditate. And even that process of meditation is enjoyable, and also the help that it gives you in situations like that. And that's kind of how it makes you feel confident or like fearless in situations like in the future, because you know that you have that someone like watching your back, and it will help you when time is needed. So you don't have to like, there's no like fear, the aspect of fear involved in any situation, I
And
guess.
also with that fearlessness, there comes humility in front of, knowing that who you are facing. You are facing the power that is doing everything, that is creating the life work that is surrounding us. So when we are humble in front of it, I really feel that just by becoming humble and invoking, I would say, almost it power of prayer, power of believing, and power of surrender to this ever loving divine power gives us, these are the tools sometimes that, when you are faced with something that is unsurmountable, it is intuitive for us to rely on something that will take us out of there, and we cannot. So that dependence and developing that dependence helps me stay fearless, helps me stay hopeful, and it has never disappointed me. So
That is a very good point that you mentioned about the power of prayer. And this is something that we hear a lot in society. And yet I can say that it was not a tradition that I grew up with. However, I did go as a child to, the synagogue and the church and the temple, and in my seeking throughout the years. And I noticed there's a completely different quality of the capacity to pray once you have this connection. It's a direct communication. And we also learn, that brought to mind that another way we use this, you could say communication with the divine, reliance or surrender with this absolute power, is the power of our bandhan. So we've learned to put ourselves in bandhan. We've learned to give vibrations, the bandhan, to our chakras. And we also learn how to give a situation, an obstacle, a problem we're facing, the vibrations, which is another form essentially of praying. And instead of, making a call to somebody, a friend or a relative, to, let's say, get some feedback or try to hash out how to resolve a problem, Advait mentioned surrendering it, or just getting into the state of meditation and watching it work itself out. And you talked about surrender, Abhishek. And so that, and prayer, and that you put those together, you can use this power of the bandhan as a technique to surrender whatever issue it is that we're facing. So maybe we could try something like that now.
sure.
How about that? Let's just bring both of our hands in front of our heart and close our eyes. And see if we can feel the subtle vibrations. Our hands perhaps feel calmer or lighter than they did when we began before the foot soak or at the beginning. So let's take a moment to reflect on any desire that we have, any obstacle that we want to surrender to the divine power, to ask for help in our ascent. Any obstacle, any problem, any imbalance, could be something we're worried about. And let's write that in our hand, whatever that might be. Each of us has something unique to ourselves. Let's take a moment to reflect on any obstacle that we would like to overcome. And write it in our hand with our forefinger. And go clockwise with our right hand around our left palm, giving the vibrations, asking the divine to please remove this obstacle in my life, to please help me understand how to deal with this problem, how to resolve it, to give me the strength and honesty with myself. We can take any imbalances with our right hand and offer it to the Mother Earth as we give the bandhan to clear it. And let's put both of our hands again in front of our heart with the palms up. Bring our attention to the top of our head. Sahaja Yoga is truly remarkable in bringing together a wide variety of strategies and techniques that we can use to grow in dealing with whatever life situation is presented to us. And another thing I would say is the fact that our own inner energy brings us into balance in and of itself helps us in such an extraordinary way. Because when we're in balance, it's like we avoid some of these pitfalls, some of these troubles that we in the past would get ourselves into when we get out of balance. So it helps us in that, in a very practical way, in that way as well. So, gentlemen, I want to thank you again, dear brother Advaith. Such a treat tonight to have this beautiful music just transport us into this higher state.
Thank you.
Very
Thank you
joyful.
so much.
Yeah. And I want to thank everybody who came and who's still with us for this, for participating in the program. And we look forward to seeing you on Sunday evening for our workshop evening. We'll have a program with a foot soak and a little bit about our self-realization and the significance of this incredible breakthrough that we've experienced. And we'll have an opportunity to enjoy a collective small group get together in the breakout rooms. So thanks again to everybody for joining tonight. We wish you a very peaceful, relaxing sleep. And we look forward to being together again on Sunday.